Hello and welcome to this macrame plant hanging tutorial. This is Samantha from Not Too Shabby. If you're here, you must have purchased one of my kits and you follow that QR code. This kit has everything you need to make this plant hanger in front of you. If you have found me another way, I will list the materials that you will need to do this plant hanger. Let's get started.
So within my kit, you will have everything you need to make this plant hanger. You will just need your own scissors and a place to work from. You should have 8 7.5-foot cords, 2 2.5-foot cords, a terracotta pot, 4 wooden beads, and a metal ring to work from.
So to get started, you're going to need some workspace where you can hang something to hang your project from. So maybe that's a command hook on the wall or a curtain rod or a shower rod, somewhere to be able to hang your project and that you can remove it when you're done. Now going into your kit, you're going to start with the metal ring and attach that onto your workspace, followed by our 8 7.5-foot cords, which we are going to thread through the metal ring. The ends will line up at the bottom so that the center of your ropes go through the ring. Taking one of your 2.5-foot cords, we're going to make our gathering knot. So you take the ends and make a little tail just like this, and we're going to place it at the top of our work with the tail going down. We then take the longest part of that cord and start to wrap it around, making sure at the top we have a piece to grab from. We wrap our cord around until we run out of that long tail, or just about, pulling it nice and tight. Once you can't get any more wraps around, you're going to take the end of that long tail, feed it through the loop, and hold it tight. We are going to grab our top tail and start to pull this through until it tucks under itself from the wraps that we made. So not all the way through to the top, not all the way through to the bottom. Go ahead and take your scissors and snip these two ends. From your long group of 7.5, we now should have 16. And we're going to start on our plant hanging knot. So grab a group of 4. And we will start on our outer knot. 2 and the center 2. To make the spiral knot, you take that leftmost cord, making a figure 4. Taking the rightmost cord, we put it on top of that figure 4 and then tuck it behind, pulling it up and to the left all the way through. We tighten till we get to the top of our gathering knot. There's our first spiral knot. Again, taking that leftmost cord, you make that figure 4 across the center 2. You take your rightmost cord, put it on top of that figure 4, feed it behind that center, pulling it up and to the left, tightening to the top.
We repeat this knot 6 more times, making it 8 total knots. You can pause the video and work. You will then repeat those 8 spiral knots on the other 3 groups of 4.
Once you have those 4 strands done, we're going to work on the next part of our plant hanger. I'm going to move 3 of these groups out of the way so that we can see what we're doing here. We're going to start by taking our 2 outermost cords and turning them so that they now become the innermost cords. So at the bottom, there should be 2 shorter ones in the middle, and now the 2 longer ones are on the outside. From here, and about a hand's width down from the bottom of this spiral knot, we're going to create 2 more spiral knots. From here, grab one of your beads and feed the ends of the 2 middle cords through that bead. If your ends have become frayed, you can just tape around them so that you can thread the bead through. Pulling that bead all the way to the top, we create 2 more spiral knots to secure it in place. Repeat this pattern, flipping the inside to the outside, 2 spiral knots a hand's width down, threading the bead through the 2 center, and 2 more spiral knots on your other 3 cords. Now that you've attached all 4 beads, we're once again going to move 3 out of the way. And working with your 1 cord, you measure about 2 hands down. And we're going to start on our first square knot, very similar to our spiral. So we start by taking that outside cord, putting it over the center 2, taking the rightmost cord on top of the left, and then up and behind, going up and to the left. Now we reverse that pattern. The rightmost cord makes a figure 4. The left outside cord goes on top, and then behind that group of 3, pulling it up and to the right, and then we tighten to make our first square knot. Repeat that on the other 3 cords. Once you've created your 4 square knots at about equal height, we're going to grab your planter, your terracotta pot that comes into my kits, but any 3 to 6 inch planter will do here. And we just start to settle it in so that those square knots are underneath the rim of that planter. With your bottom hand, you're measuring about where our second gathering knot is going to go. So once you're happy with where that planter is settled, we remove that planter while keeping hold of the bottom, grabbing our second 2.5 foot cord. We once again make our gathering knot by starting with that tail, the short end coming up, and that long tail coming down, and the loop at the bottom, we just start wrapping around, making this one nice and tight, working down our plant hanger here. Now once you cannot wrap it anymore, that tail at the bottom feeds through the loop, and then we pull that top tail so that it comes up through that spiral that we created. Without pulling it all the way through, if you do, that's okay, you can just start the knot again. Once that knot is in there, we once again take our scissors and cutting those ends. We have finished our plant hanger. So a couple options here to finish this out. If you want this kind of messy, unraveled bottom, you can certainly keep it that way if that's the look you're going for. Or if you want a nice even edge, just simply take that scissors and cut that tassel to your preferred length. Another thing you can do to finish this is taking some kind of glue, craft glue, super glue, and just dabbing those little tails that we cut really short. You can do this especially on the bottom. If you prefer to do it at the top, you can as well. And there you go. That is your plant hanger. Thank you all for watching this tutorial on this macrame plant hanger. Come find my shop on Facebook. I will link it below. Thank you so much for your time and have a wonderful day.